Expenses. Let's take a look at how these line up with the color scale and how you can take simple actions to move your score up the color scale. And again, this is all about habit creation and finding the simple ways to be more effective. Let's go through our questions here. So how is your plan when it comes to expenses? And what we find is oftentimes with threes, 10 ones, there's it's not the first focus when it comes to something that you optimize as well. So this is like a skill like anything else. And if we don't have a solid plan in place with our expenses, of course that drags down our mental resources and ultimately pulls us into the red. Okay? So how is your consistency? Are you tracking them? Are you paying attention to them? Okay? What can you do to be consistent and feel really at ease with your expenses? And this is really about finding what works for you, because I don't believe this is about poring over every single detail and obsessing about every penny. It's more about, okay, how can we put the simple systems in place that are effective and feel like a breath of fresh air where you're just, at ease, because ultimately that's at the top of green, which is ease or peace, okay? So how are your results as well? Is money going out the door where you don't really know where it's going? Or do you have a good eye on each of your expenses and know exactly what's going out? How can you improve? So there's many different ways for this, but ultimately, again, you want to use the GPS method for yourself. And oftentimes when we go through this with people, pretty much every time, you know what you need to do. And so lean into that of what's that one action you can do, what's that one action you can improve, and then use the GPS method to help navigate that action. How can you optimize? So whether it's with software, or maybe it's once a week you do a specific action, or maybe it's with your team, your financial team, that presents a report to you in some way where you have an idea of where your expenses are at. Whatever that is for you, think about that next step and use the GPS method to align yourself with what's the next best step to take. How can you enjoy it more? So this is an interesting thing. Is like, how can you set up the system so that it's not a drain on you? Because sometimes that's what happens. It's like, oh, okay, well, more time, more energy needs to be spent on doing all these things. Well, that's just more obligations. So the thing is to find the team, find the system that simplifies and, again, feels at ease. And this is where the Facebook group really comes in handy. So with your specific area where you're at, ask questions. And that's where, as a community, we can help navigate what's the next best move in that specific situation you have, so that it's as green or blue as possible. And again, that's that next step. So go ahead and write down your next step and see, okay, what's the next color level that's right above where you're currently at with your expenses, and find that next step, post in the group so you can get feedback and watch your score go up. And as you do, of course, more creativity, more momentum is unlocked in your life and business. I'll see you in the next video.